applause again, please. Okay, let me just grab some water for the guys. Okay, I would like to call on stage Alexine from The New Beginning. Please, on stage, a round of applause for Alexine. A round of applause for Cameron Hyman from Two Sides. And I'm going to call up also Kiskat from the first film, Igniting Flames. Welcome, welcome. Have a seat, have a seat. Cam, where are you, man? Where Cam? Oh, see Cam coming from afar. Cam got to film everything. Okay, so we have 4 mics, so we have to do with sharing. So I'm just gonna put this on. Testing, testing. Yeah, okay. So this works. Okay, so guys, did you enjoy the movie? Movies? Yeah, you did? Okay, great. Awesome. So first question I would like to ask you guys, and then I'll start to ask questions from the crowd as well. But the first question I would like to ask all of you is, so what sparked the urgency to make that specific story that you told in your cinepoem? Cam?
Hi, good night. Oh, I can't hear myself. So, I think it's good. Yeah. Hello, good night. All right, so my name is Cameron Hyman, and I am the cinematographer behind Two Sides. And Daniela Berry is the one who wrote the poem and essentially wrote the story. She's the brain and the mind and the soul behind the project. So essentially what sparked this project for her is, we hear a lot about the single moms and all the things that moms do, and that is absolutely valid, especially as a child myself who grew up in a single mom's home, but we really don't hear about like single dads and kind of hear the dad's perspective. And that is really the thought and the idea behind what drove Daniela to write this story.
Amazing.
Boa noite. Yeah, so the film, I think what sparked it for us, we're both in the age where you were done with studying. Well, first you left Curaçao to go study in Holland. You did all the things that you were supposed to do, and you're at the start of your career. And I think both of us are in the process of reflecting on what that meant for us and whether that was something that we even wanted. Because I think for a lot of us, we don't question whether we're going to Holland, yes or no. We just do it. And actually, there are a lot of structures in place, colonial structures in place, that make it that you end up there without even maybe needing to be there. And then you've done all the studying, and you're done, and you're in the new house, painting your wall and asking yourself the question, is this actually what I want? And being brave enough to say, no, it isn't, and I need to make a change, which is the conclusion of the film. And not just us, but I think it's really something that we've been feeling in the people, in the groups that we're in. And so asking the question of what are we doing and what do we want for ourselves in our lives?
All right, boa noite, boa noite. For us, it was a bit of, we started talking about the word brillo and how you could see it also as light, and that it takes a lot of courage to chase a dream. And so we decided to take the side of parents usually having a dream they're pursuing, but then they leave it behind once they have kids. And that idea really sparked something with some of us. And then we took it and we decided to run with that, to say, it's not only parents but mentors, people in your life who sometimes leave their dream behind, and then they want to give that same spark to you as knowledge that we showed with the fire. Yeah.
Awesome. So I like this idea that all of these stories, they came from a place that is personal, from reality. It was not hocus pocus made up. It was really grounded in real life, which is very interesting. Something about the process of Cinepoem. So one of the things that we would like to do in the Cinepoem Caribbean is also to show that making a Cinepoem is not all too hard. But for us to do that, for everyone to hear that, and for Cinepoem to become more and more inclusive so everybody can participate, I would like to ask you, so what was the hardest part of making the Cinepoem, all of you? What was the hardest part, and how did you go about it? Who wants to go first? I see you. Yeah, go for it.
So me and Tamira worked on this film, but we're literally in two separate countries. The film was filmed in Holland. And for me, it was so frustrating to be here and not to be part of the process of actually filming it. And I know for her that that was a challenge because it was the first time that she was doing, and I don't know the technical names of all the different things that you're doing, but you're filming, you're the, what are the names? You're the
Sound,
director,
lights.
you're the, exactly. So she was doing all of that at the same time, and she did a fucking great job with it. But I know that that was really a challenge for her to be also working with a lot of new equipment. And so I guess doing a lot of things for the first time was the challenge, yeah.
Okay, and how you go about it is actually just time, working,
Yeah.
trying to be simple, trying to keep the process as simple as possible. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Cam or Kiskar, go.
Yeah, I can go next. For us, I think the biggest challenge was since we were all so busy during this time, it was really connecting and getting on to like calls because we didn't meet at any point before shooting. So our first day meeting as a group was on our shooting day. So that was a bit of a challenge, and getting everyone in the same location all at once was a bit of a thing for us, but we made it work and we loved every second of it, and we want to keep working together now, so that's awesome.
That's great. That's great.
So distance was definitely a challenge for us because we have it the opposite. Daniela's in Holland and I'm here. Well, not here. I'm in St. Martin, sorry. But I think the hardest part for us was getting the story down pack because Daniela actually interviewed single moms. She actually interviewed single dads because we wanted to get the story as accurate as possible. So I think 75% of our process was really just trying to make sure that the script was perfect, and then we did the filming after, which I consider like the 25%. So I think just getting those real stories and telling this piece in a really accurate way was the most challenging part of our process.
Beautiful, and how you also translated it to actual poetry. So some of those lines are like memorable lines. Okay, I'm going to go to the crowd now, unless Herman, you want to say something? Otherwise, I ask the crowd. I can start walking
Yes.
around.
So, I have a question for you, Kim. There's moments throughout the film where words and images kind of match each other, and those I think you get them. How did you come up with the images? Was it something you guys did together? How was that process of coming up with those images?
Yeah, so once we had the story down pat, we knew we weren't going to be able to show every piece of the story to match the visual specifically. So we kind of just look for the stuff that would really, sell it in a way, like when she said pressure burst the pipes, just to make sure that the pipe comes on as soon as that happens. Because I feel like that's really like a kind of Easter egg kind of stuff that we did. And even with like some of the color shifts, because you can see at the beginning of the movie when the mom is in the bathroom, everything has that orange kind of hue. Later on when the dad is in the bathroom, it has that blue kind of hue. But it's the same bathroom, you understand? So it's just, yeah, I guess I'll save that in case the crowd has the questions about the color shift, but yeah.
Yeah, any questions from the crowd? No hands? Please show hands. Anyone?
I have another question for you in the meantime. I loved the the use of the zoom, the way you guys use the zoom. It's not something you see very often. I really love movies from the 70s and 60s where they used to do that. Where did that come from? How did you guys come up with that idea?
I think we referenced a lot of, and now I'm blanking on his name. My God, she's gotta have it. What's the name of Spike
Spike
Lee?
Lee, yeah.
Exactly. And he has a lot of, it's very quirky. His movies are very quirky. But I think even before we kind of looked at references from other people, we knew that we wanted the wall to be also a character in the movie. And so playing with Zoom kind of was a way to highlight that this is also the wall is also in the room emotionally. So that was yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Also, the musical choice that you chose also to bring the emotions in is quite beautiful, all of you. Any questions from the crowd? You all did you enjoy the movie? Oh, I see a hand back there. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah.
Is it possible that you translate? But my question is, se vamos traduzir palavra como advice para gente que quer começar tra short film, Kiko elota.
Okay, so if you can give one word of advice to one person that would like to start a cine poem, what would it be?
Queda cerca de homens.
Anybody else? What would your advice be for anybody who's thinking about starting a Cinepo and wants to participate next year? What would it be?
Just look for stories in your own life. Because, so for example, with me, I grew up in a single mom household, so the story kind of relates to me. When you can find something that you're passionate about, first of all, it's easier to write about. And then once you have a story written, you have lived experiences, so thinking about visual references might become a little bit easier.
Kiska,
I basically was going to say about the same thing. Whatever you do, do it with passion. Make sure it sticks and it's something personal to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a question for the three of you. After seeing the production, that top notch, I must say, the three of you, do you guys think you guys will keep doing cinepoems? And if so, would you guys stick with the topics or broaden other different cinepoetry topics?
Is a poet asking, by the way? Maybe there's interest.
I think there are many, many interesting topics that we can touch upon, and this is definitely something I want to continue doing. This was my first, I don't know about you guys, but this was my first cinepoem. But it was a very interesting process, from an idea to writing the poem and then creating something from that poem. It's pretty nice to see it up on a bigger screen than a computer, so yeah.
Yeah, and I've done short films before. I really love the short film / documentary genre. And whether the story is based on a poem or whether, again, it's just a real life experience that somebody's telling, it's definitely something that I enjoy and I want to get into because I feel like we have so many stories and sometimes they're just kind of locked in our minds. So using my skill as a cinematographer to help get those stories out that other people can see it, it's amazing for me. So it's definitely something I plan to continue doing.
Okay. Any other question? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I really like the format of cinepoetry. I think in all the three different cinepoems you saw a different way of playing with visual images and the actual poem. And so it gives you a lot of space to play with silence, play with words, play with kind of when things come together, like Cam just said, so word and visuality. So it's a very, it's not loose, it's you can do a lot with the format. So yeah, I would recommend, and it's definitely something I would also want to continue with.
Okay, so pretty much, if you want to join or find somebody, just approach. That's the best way. Follow your heart is one of the advices. The other one is, let's work together and figure it out. Any other question? Otherwise, I'm going to ask the crowd some questions.
I have
All right.
one last question for his card. You guys work with actors. I think from the films, you guys work with people that actually do acting. How was that to work with actors? Had you worked with actors before, and how was the experience working with actors?
Yeah, I've worked with actors before. I've made some films in the past, and working with actors is it's fun. It's fun because especially when you work with somebody who knows exactly what they're doing, you don't have to say a lot for them to understand you, and you can kind of just be like, "Oh, I want this," and in this scene, you know, the feeling is this, and we're trying to get this across. So just make sure these lines you punch on them, and they're like, "I got you," and then they deliver it, and you're like, "I don't." That's it. So, but it's really fun working with actors. No, yeah.
Yeah. Here's a question.
I excuse me for my voice. I like to know how many hours of filming goes into a production like this.
That's a very good question. How many hours of work did you put into it per team, approximately?
Approximate into the filming or
Into making
into
this? It's about the
everything?
whole production, right? Or is it just hours of footage? Sorry.
I mean, you have to cut and then to make it short. So you have to film a lot. And I want to know how many hours of filming.
Okay, so footage. We're talking about how many footage minutes, hours did you film to then compress it to 5 to 7 minutes?
A lot.
Yeah.
Days.
I think we filmed about over the course of 4 days, maybe 16 hours of filming. Most of it spent at the house, and then some bite-sized stuff for the outdoor pieces.
Yeah, for us, it was one day because, like I said, we didn't have a lot of time from everyone. So I think we started at 6:30 a.m. and we were done at 10:30 p.m. So yeah, quite a lot.
I think Tamira also did 3 full days of filming. Yeah.
That's a great question, just to get kind of the amplitude of it all. How much time do we have left? Okay, do we have a final question? Oh, we have a final we have 2. I'm going to go for the other one since she's the first question.
Hello. My question is, if you would get the opportunity to do the whole process again, what would you do differently?
Great question. What would you do differently? Who wants to go first?
What I would do differently, just because I saw how time went really quickly on the days we were filming. We used the actual family, and I just assumed that it would go really smooth because it's the actual mom and dad and son. But when you're asking people to do very specific things, you know, it can be a bit challenging. So I would definitely have tightened my storyboard and try to get them to do things a little bit more efficiently that would have saved us on time.
Yeah, I think we would have done a bit similar in that sense to meet up before in person and really sit down, maybe go to the locations together, scope, look at everything, make sure we plan out these shots, maybe take some photos of exactly what you want using each other. You don't need the actors, so you can just have stand-ins, take these photos, and then you have good reference shots for when you are filming. You know, oh, okay, this is my framing, let's go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the same. Having a tight storyboard is really important. And for us, a lot of the creating the story actually happened after filming, which I think is normal because you have all this footage, you have the poem, you have your idea, and now you actually have to piece it together into something. But having, and we planned it out, but it would have been even nicer if we had it even more detailed from, okay, so when when the poem says this, this is gonna happen, and then have that kind of for the whole poem. Yeah.
That was a great question, great answer, guys. I would like to thank and please a round of applause for Cameron, Alexine, and Kiskat, part of the 3 Cinepoems you just saw. And also wanted to say that the Cinepoems will take place also in the Netherlands. It will be part of the Poëzie Film Festival, who will be touring all over the Netherlands. So these films will not only stay here, and I hope they go beyond the Netherlands to other places as well. So if you know anyone who has this ambition, please apply. Next year, we'll be doing this again. Thank you.
Vim para de rei para nós começar. Tene cuenta rumana, cuenta botico a pé. No brueco merengue, mandense aí botico baile. Tene cuenta rumana, o seu botico a pé. No brueco merengue, mana laira bota gocê. Ai, tu rende tacando, mana na laura, tawa pa mi se.
Hello? All right, guys. We're going to take a quick short break. Nós vamos ter uma pausa comercial para minuto. Nós stay back com a última parte dos Mika Yama Boso. Please. Agora aqui, o último momento que você chance de banho, bem back. Passou nós bem back, nós vai que o final part, a última parte da noite, que vai ter uma explosão musical. Plus, não tá algo que perde. So, em 10 minutos, pues 20 para Jesus, nós stay back aqui na última parte. 10 minutos. Bom?